again. Okay. I shot it the wrong direction the last video, so I fixed it. So this is a relief sculpture, to reiterate. This is a relief sculpture. I'm in my spray booth here in lovely Tucson, Arizona. And I started this relief sculpture at Linda Gavina's studio. And she has a Friday session for painters, and she lets me come and make a nice clay mess. I usually work on an easel, but I think ideal is if I can work on a table with a slight angle like this. So maybe I can rig something to take with me and I can work on a table next time, because I did have the problem of this collapsing because it got so 3D. If I keep it flatter, then I can work on the easel the whole time. But if I don't. So we got a dove here, and I explained it in the first video. So I'm almost to the point of, okay, what does it need to say? It's pretty much the base sculpture. And I do like to leave them rough. And I like to leave, what was that one person said that bought a piece from me? Said, like to see the hand of the maker, you know. So, so I've got a little hair in here to fix up, but I want more. I'm not sure whether I should do a dove right here. Or a bevy of birds here. But I'm going to start a bird, and I'm going to show you how I pull a bird. Okay? And so I've got a wad of clay, and I'm going to go give this a little wedge. Now, wedging board is, you can hear me from there, my wedging board is full of tiles, but so you may have noticed I don't do as many sculptures. I love working big in sculpture, but I'm getting older, you know, and they're getting heavy to get in and out of the kiln. And so I may be transitioning to reliefs for the sculptural part, because these I can still lift, right? It's just, at the worst, it's 25 pounds of clay. So I wedged that. This is a little wet for pulling, so we'll see. Maybe I might have to wait. I have some stiffer clay. Or check and see if I got another bag open that's stiffer. That might help. Let me see. Yeah, I found another bag. It's a little stiffer. Oh. I will have several bags. So, this is Imco Peak Clay. I buy it out of California. I buy it in 2,000 pound lots. A couple times a year. I'd say I go through about 4,000 pounds a year. And it is a cone 10. It's really great for sculpture because a cone 10 clay is far more plastic, I found, than a cone 6. So the question arises, am I going to fire this to cone 10? No, I'm not. I'm going to fire this to cone 6. It vitrifies at 6. I've made vases with it that hold water, and I don't make dinnerware, so I've got, this one's a little softer. See the difference? Yeah. So that's what you need. Let me wedge it a little more. Okay, so I think this might be a little big for what I want to build, so I'm gonna take it down a little bit more. So what I'm going to do with this is I did a good wedge on it, and I'm going to open it up. I'm going to give it a little spray because I'm going to be pulling it, so I want it a little slippery. Can you see my hands okay? Oh yeah. If I keep them right here, you can see them. Okay, so I'm just going to pull a hollow bird body from this. It still might be a little big for what I want, but it's good. I'll use it for something else. So I've got a straw. Would have preferred, I couldn't find a skinnier straw. They must be all in the house. So I've got a straw here, and I've got a phone book. See it? Which got a little wet. Shouldn't be wet. So I always keep phone books. When they stop making phone books, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to wad up one sheet of phone book paper and put it right in there. Then I'm going to take a straw and put it over there. So I usually, I'm going to pull that outward. Somewhere I have these extra long straws. What do I do with them? Okay, I found a bag of straws. All different size straws. See? Yep, all different size. So I want it a little skinnier because I don't want this bird to be too big. That's a little skinnier. And then there's a kind, I don't know if there's one in here, that you can get. Let's see if I got one in here. If you're doing really small ones, so you can get little coffee squares. If you're doing big ones, you got, right. But I was looking for a bendy. Have you ever seen those bendies? Yeah, no bendy here. One more chance for a bendy. Okay, they have these ones with extra long bend in them, which I like. So, but see the difference? I'm going to get the skinnier one because I want to keep this pretty small. So I'm just going to put that there, like that. And then I'm going to take another piece of paper. And I might have put too much paper in here to begin with. Maybe half a, since I'm going small, half a phone book page. Yeah, half a phone book page. Okay, then a straw. There's the bendy part. And the other half. All right, and then I'm going to close it. I'm going to pull the clay I have up and over. I'm compressing as I go, just so I can get this closed. And this is paper clay. I do not need to slip and score with paper clay. Okay, that's a good size for the regular start of the body. And you can pull this back and forth. This is going to be for the head. Unless I were doing like a bird that has a tail coming upwards, then I might use that for the tail end. But I'm going to use this for the head end, I think. So we've got that. And I'm just going to give it a spritz. Can you see? I don't want to get this any wetter than it is because it's pretty wet. So see where my hands are. Good. Okay. So, and I'm just going to pull a head and a tail out of this. I might have gotten it too wet. And the nice thing about this is I'm also compressing. And you saw it was already pretty thin, so I'm also thinning it, the walls.
I've done this a lot. I haven't done it recently though. I did demonstrate this in my workshop last year. So there's the bendy straw. I'm going to have that come out the bottom of the bird because he's going to have a fairly small head. Okay. Now, if that gets in my way, I'm going to just pull it out. There we go. So, getting the bend in the neck. And I should be able to pull out a nice beak. And if you pull a beak, it's a lot stronger than if you just make it with the clay, you know. It's getting a little thin, so I am going to add a little clay here, and then I'm going to pull it again. I'll pull it in both directions. Pulling it downward. I keep on forgetting to keep it in the, right. So. I'm going to add the gels onto the bird. Yeah, bird has gels. Take a look. There's some really great pictures on Pinterest. There's some really great draftsmen of birds. And I would say go look at the draftsmen, the really good draftsmen's pictures instead of just photographs of birds. Why? Because the draftsman has done the first job for you. They have simplified what you're seeing. They've seen the important parts. All right? And those are the things you need to sculpt first. You start sculpting eyes and lines and beaks and whatnot before you get the basic shape of a bird's head from all directions. And I have a Pinterest file called Bird Drawings. So go look for that on Pinterest. Follow me on Pinterest. Every time I add a bird drawing, you'll probably get a picture of it, all right? If you don't have a Pinterest, you don't have a Pinterest account and you're an artist, you are so missing out on references for artists. I have a whole bunch of albums called References for Artists in different areas, human anatomy and whatnot, because I teach and so my students can go right there. So I don't like that, so I'm going to leave that out for now. So at this point, it doesn't look like a sparrow, and I want a sparrow. And sparrows are like bigger, so I'm just going to pull that back down into the shape. Keep it. And make a fatter head, shorter neck, because sparrows don't have much of a neck. That's a better sparrow shape. And it'd be nice to keep it just a bowl of water here at your workplace to dip your hand in when you're pulling, because the whole point is to have your hand slide across the clay when you're pulling. That's a little better. Now I'm pulling the tail back inward as I widen it. Pretty good. Now I'm going to take this straw and pull it back now that I've got the tail going like that, get it back into the body, and while I'm there I'm just going to add a little piece of paper to keep that nice, and not only does it keep it hollow and the wall's thin, but it also gives support for that tail whichever way you want to move it. Now since I have scissors here somewhere, I had scissors, you saw me in the last video sculpting with them. What did I do with them? No idea. I'll be back. I don't know where they are. Now, I'm not sure where I'm going to put this bird, size-wise. When I'm at this, I can sparrows seem to have very little tails. So, and I wonder if he wouldn't be hiding up in here. Or would he be hiding behind here and wondering? See how when you build them separately and they're hollow, you can think about. Could he be hiding behind the rose? Oh, I like that. What do you think? His tail back that way. Still got to have a bigger, fatter little body to be a sparrow. I'm going to pull that straw back through. I'm getting it a little bit. Yep. So the straw just helps me to bend necks without tearing them apart and whatnot. I think I sort of like that. And he could be quizzically looking downward, you think, so I'm going to go ahead. And you see how I can, and I think he would have a much smaller tail than this. So I'm going to remove a lot of tail. I think they don't have much of a tail. Now, I could take the time to pull out my iPad and take a look. Because I haven't done that many sparrows. If it's a bird I've done a lot of doves, a lot of ravens, and lately a lot of blue jays. Oh, I should have a blue jay. Oh, I actually need a blue jay here because I'm into blue jays lately. So every bird represents something to me. I'm taking some paper out there because this tail's getting smaller and smaller. Just make sure you keep it thin. That's better. Let's see how that looks. Oh yeah, and then his head like that. So he's like away from it. And when you're thinking about movement in a piece, and I do a lot because the painter in me learned a lot about movement, and that translates to sculpture really well. My original training was in painting. I was a painter a good 35, 40 years before I switched to clay. Yeah, I'm that old. So, but I did study figurative sculpture in grad school. I audited the courses while I was doing my MFA in painting. So, yeah, I like that. So I'm just going to try to think about the movement. So let's look at what we got. See this movement? This helps carry the eye to the bird. Then the bird, you can move down this way, and if I move this tail a little, one of these feathers a little that way, that will make the movement go back into the piece. So we've got, here we go, down, around, and just by curving, can you see this feather? Yeah, you can. Can you? Yeah, you can. Just by curving that feather that way and maybe creating the lines that way a little bit, that's going to create, because this is moving that way, and you don't want the movement to be strong that way, because why? Because that leads the eye off the piece. The last thing an artist wants to do is to have you stop looking. So they want to keep your eye moving around the piece so you see the whole piece, and plus you get to see the rows down here, and who knows, it might be fun to do a brooch there with a little portrait on it. Wouldn't that be fun? I already got a rose. Why repeat the rose? Well, repetition in design is good too. Repetition in design calms the eye. It likes to see repetition. Too much repetition makes the eye nervous. Think of a houndstooth fabric. Oh, some of those will make you downright dizzy to look at them. My husband gets dizzy at houndstooth. He can't stand to look at it. All right, so movement. So here, if I put the bird this way, the movement's down and up, right? The tail's going to, but if I go here and I curve the tail a little bit, right? I'm going to get this out of the way. I curve the tail a little bit. You see how that helps to move down here, and this curves here, and it keeps it moving, right? So here, can you see over here? Yeah. Over here, this big curve of the hair helps to bring the eye back. So we keep the eye moving. And we get up here, and we don't want to go there, but the fact that we will make this bird be looking down at, and I'll take this off because you want to even up those eyes, all right? I usually have a stick for this. There we go. So I'm just gonna, a little trick to even up the eyes, just because you want them in. The nice, oh boy, I still got straw in there. Pull it back a little bit, because I shortened that head a lot, didn't I? Okay, so sparrows don't have much of a beak. Everything's sort of short and puffy about a sparrow. A sparrow is humility in my iconography. It's a little, and the willingness to be little, to be not the center of attention. That's a hard one for me. We're working on it, aren't we, Lord? Okay, so let's see. Here we go. So at this point, I'm gonna make a hole. And I'm going to cut this down a little bit. I'm just going to stick that in there. That way I have a lot more leeway on. So I want the tail to go that way. I've decided I want the head to go this way and then that way. All right. While I'm here, just add a little. And I always anthropomorphize. You like that word? Anthropomorphize? Anthro from the Greek for man. Morph is to his body, right? So give some human characteristic to an animal. So hence anthropomorphize. I don't know if I'm going to have him talking or not. He might. But for now, I just want to get some sense of his head. All right. By creating the shadow, right? And I'll show you a little trick if you want to open the beak. Just get your scissors in there. You wouldn't want to use a good pair of scissors because this paper clay is really, and that really helps to open a beak carefully without losing the form. You make the solid beak first and then you can, I think that beak is still a little big, so another thing you can do with the scissors is after you've got it in the right place, you can make it smaller. And I would usually do this in my hand, but if I do it in my hand, you're not going to see it. So now the other thing I haven't done yet is indicate some kind of wings. First, I'm just going to try to pull some clay out to get a nice feathery breast, because they do have a nice feathery breast on them. So I'm just going to add a little clay and build that up a little bit. Yeah. Use my softer clay for that. And I want this tail to be out and around. Now while I'm there, you want to always make sure you work, I'm going to pull it out again. You want to work on top. You see how it's flattening up? Because I'm working way up there, so that's why I always make it so I can pull it off and fix that. All right, so basically the bird body goes like that, right? Like that. And then this comes like that. So those are the two forms. So you get them right. It's starting to dry on me, so I'm gonna go ahead and give it a spray. So because I was working up there where I couldn't see. So I'm just going to go ahead and open that up a little bit and make it bigger. There we go. So I can get the... And you want to put the paper in, because once you start sculpting on it, it's going to collapse on you because you're keeping it nice and thin if you don't have the paper in there. All right? So add some paper. If you make the body bigger, add some paper before you close it up. You can close it with a mushroom, or you can just squeeze it back together. But in this case, since I want more volume than I have, more volume than I have, I'm going to use a mushroom. So this is what I call a mushroom. I just make a ball about the right size. Uh-oh, I hear water. Oh, it's raining. Hey, it's raining in the desert. I thought I left something on. Okay. All right, so that's a mushroom. And it gives me plenty of clay to build this body. Got a little hole there because I was working up there, and if I was working the whole time up there, I wouldn't be able to look at it from all directions and get the head right in the right shape. So because I tried to do that because I was worried you wouldn't be able to see it in my hands, and I have got it wonky. So 2 ways to get around that: start over and don't do that again, or get a tool in there and pull it out. There we go. Not too bad. Oh yeah, it's really raining. I can hear the... Oh, we need rain. We're a little light this year for the monsoon period. But you know what? I like that too. Of course, it carries the eye that way, doesn't it? So, as much as I like that, I'm not so sure about that. Nice way of making this separate. I'm just going to add a little bit of paper in there, so that the neck, where I want puffiness, does not collapse on me once I start sculpting detail in there. And you'd be surprised how much paper you can get in there. And yeah, I usually take it out, but you don't have to. You don't have to take it out. And no, it's not going to ruin your elements. It's going to smoke up the place. So I have vents on all my kilns. So there you go. Better, nice fat little body. And I might be able to get the wings right out of this fat little body. We'll see. So next, while I'm here, I'm going to get that shape I talked about here. The shape of the tail coming into the body. That way, the neck comes into the body like that in a round shape. And then this is the body that way. And the wings go over. So if I can keep all those shapes. And you see how it's a little flat there? So that's easy enough. How am I going to fix that? Anybody know? I'm just going to make a hole and lift it. What am I going to do before I close that hole? Just a little piece of paper so it won't collapse on me again. And that way we have a nice thin-walled, much lighter. I mean, this is paper clay. You can get away with 3 inches thick on paper clay. Paper clay is not a cheap clay, so hey. And my clay bill is huge because I don't recycle anymore. In fact, if you want a really nice Bailey pug mill de-aerator, I have one for sale. Message me. Sell it to you cheap, and I think I've used it a dozen times. And before I came to the conclusion that I didn't want to spend my time recycling clay. I'd rather waste some than spend my time recycling. So while I'm here, I'm just going to add that basic form of the wing coming up and over on this side. And then up and over. Yep. And then over here, this is the body, so I'm going to bring that back. And then I'm going to try to find a wing over here. And every time it's not in the right place, I can just pull it up. Pull it up. And this would be better if I did it with a wood tool, but then I'd have to walk away and find a wood tool. And clay people know almost anything can be a tool. Okay, we getting there? He's getting fatter and fatter. Now his head looks too small. I may have to carve it back. All right. So, what am I going to do there? Anybody know? So, I want to address something I saw. I don't remember what site it was on, some clay site, and somebody wrote that people should share how they do things. Okay, I am sharing a little bit how I do things, but I'm sure not sharing my glaze recipes that I've worked on and cost me a small fortune in development because of all the times I failed. Lots, still failing sometimes. I'm not going to share everything. I'm not going to come take a workshop. I mean, what, you're not allowed to make a living in clay? You're just supposed to give all your secrets away that you worked on for 10, 15 years? Get me going. Here I go again, negative Mary. It just irked me, you know. It's usually said by people that don't have anything to give away because they haven't done the work developing their own stuff. I don't know if it's usually said. That's not fair. But, you know, I mean, if you work 10 years to work something, hey, you're getting ready to die, okay. But maybe then, but so you don't die with it. But meanwhile, you're still making a living at it. You should give it away to somebody so they can do bad copies of your work. Oh my gosh, get me going. It happened to me one time. Somebody started making bad copies of my plates, and it really broke my heart. I felt violated. I felt absolutely violated. Why, you say, would you feel violated? Because at the time I was trying to get a piece of medical equipment for the house that was necessary, and I was trying to earn the money. And they were selling fake Mary's plates for less than mine. Bad copies, doing almost exact bad copies. Yeah, I felt violated. I felt stolen from. I felt so hurt. And all right, so I'm still not that happy with it, but it's because I'm being negative, okay? And a dove is positive, not dove, a sparrow is positive. Oh, positive things, okay. Did I tell you today how much I love my Facebook buddies? How much they've meant to me over the years? All the things I've been through. They've always sent me just the most. See how quickly when you change your point of view, it starts to get happy? I think it's sort of funny, but it's true. It's true. All right, so got out of that. All right. I'll save the negative for what I want to do. A blue jay. Okay. Okay, don't send me hate mail because I said that about blue jays, please, okay? All right. That's a nice start. But, you know, I'm going to wait till it hardens up a little, and then I'm going to do more carving on it. But at least I got the feel of what I want. And, you know, a beak is hollow, not solid. So I'm going to just add some three-dimensionality in there. I don't know. What's he so happy about? He could have a worm and be really happy about that. But yeah, there he is. There he is. And I guess he should have a little a little tongue sticking out of there. I don't know if I get one in yet. This clay is so soft. I like working with soft clay until I get into small things, then I like it a little stiffer because it's a little... Oh man, it's really raining out there. I had some plates sitting outside. Some with glaze on them. I managed to get all of them in with one. So one of them got deglazed by the rain. Nah, yeah. I don't think it helps. I'll just wait until it's a lot. Because the shadow is really important in sculpture, and the fact that there's, you see, as soon as you, so you really see this happy little smile because of the deepness of the shadow. The minute I put the tongue in there, you see I lose the shadow. And you see it's less happy. So, do you need a tongue to tell the story of the bird? No, you don't. Do I need the shadow to tell the story of the smile? Yes, I do. That makes sense, guys? Yep, these are the things that I have learned over these 50 plus years of being an artist. So come take a workshop, and I will share with you there. On down the road, I'm going to have a Patreon site. I keep saying that for the last 6 months, but things have been crazy here. So, I don't think I like that. It takes away from the smile. I think I'll have feathers, but it'll be more. Right? And I wonder what it would look like if I raise this wing up. So I'm going to raise it up and see. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's better. Now I got back to the paper, so I'm going to pull it up. Oh yeah, little happy wing. So I'm going to make a mushroom for the hole I made. So it's more a long kind of shape. Give it a little spritz. Yeah, there we go. And I could take this once again, put it in my hand. I'm just trying to, and I will. But I like that. I like that. So if I make the wing go that way, it's going to, so I'm going to make it curve this way. Why? Because I want to keep the movement that way, down and around. That's better. Yep, that's better. I still need a wing on that side. And you know, to help bring it this way, if I add the wing on that side, it should do it. I might have to add it because I don't have as much. Looks like a little baby sparrow, doesn't he? Let's see how a wing on the other side will work. Just make a quick one and see. So coming from this direction, so you got to look at it in all directions. Do I need a wing out here? Boy, it's really coming down outside. I don't know if you can hear it. I got the windows open. Maybe I better close them. I don't want tiles washing away the glaze. I've got 4-foot overhangs on most of these windows out here, so
rain, I can leave them open. This one over here.
Okay. There you go. That's long enough. We got a bird. We pulled a bird. Okay, bye-bye.